Hello and welcome to the 7th. It's the 7th, right?
Yes.
Lucky number
Yes,
7.
it is.
Definitely wasn't lucky for us. But finally we are here. Celia's a new order in the new year. I'm checking. No, for me it's already February, so I didn't manage to get a session in this month or the first month of the year, but you guys did, so congrats on you. Yeah, we have been delayed quite a bit. Fate didn't want us to come together, but we are known to challenge fate, and so we stuck together. And finally, in the end, we made it, and all we had to sacrifice is one pair of glasses. And almost a car, but now we're here and everything is fine. Oh boy, okay, I think a quick round of introductions is needed before we start, and we're gonna start off as usual with the man himself, Greg.
Well, hey, I'm Greg, and I will be playing Eirik Spanner, a slightly high-strung human artificer.
Okay, I'm Matt. I play Dr. Fiera. She is interested in the past, the current, and the future, and trying to control it all.
I am Skit. I'm playing Isarel Leafina, High Elf Druid, who is apparently friend to the trees and wants to bring people back together to where they all commune back to nature. And apparently it's already my birthday in Germany right now, so yay!
Oh shit! Happy birthday! Only I am allowed to sing, so this will be extremely awkward. And I will sing it in German for you, because you are a high elf and I'm in Germany. So here it goes. Oh, I forgot how it goes in German. Oh shit. I forgot how it goes in German. Okay, we're gonna skip this part. We're gonna skip it and over to Felicia while I think how it goes.
Alright, I'm Felicia. I'm playing Arya. She's a high elf, soul knife rogue. She's a little bit more than meets the eye and not the typical rogue. She tries to be more intelligent than just sneaky sneak.
Okay. That's your catchphrase now, sneaky sneak. I almost said something, but that would be bad to say in Germany if you abbreviate sneaky sneak. Whoever gets that joke, good on you. I think I got it now. I think it's Zum Geburtstag viel Glück. No, it's not that. It's wrong. It's definitely wrong. But sheesh.
Oh well.
This is the best natural one performance check I've ever seen.
It really
Yep.
is.
Yep.
No, it is. It does go like that. It's Zum Geburtstag viel Glück. Zum Geburtstag viel Glück.
Yep.
Zum Geburtstag, liebes Kind. Zum Geburtstag viel Glück. Woo! I'm clapping for myself. I need some self-encouragement for that natural one. Holy shit. Okay.
It's the thought that counts.
Way down to bring my self-consciousness before the session starts. God dang. Well, these players need to feel a bit above me at some points of time in this session, otherwise I'm dominating all the time and we don't want that, right? Okay, I think it's enough about that, and it's time to get into the meat and bones. So we're gonna hear the intro after a long time.
Ooh.
Cool, I've done that in a while, so we'll mute ourselves. It will always take ages for me.
Freedom. Something that all men and women strive experience the world around you. A gift given to us, and surely one that you should cherish and not waste. But it makes us blind, for while we stare longingly into the sky, boundless and free, more often than not, we miss the very cliff that approaches right in front of us. One that will most certainly let us fall to our own demise. Yet still we will go out of our way to challenge anything and anyone who would dare impede on our freedom, who would dare to even think about taking it away from us. We will wage wars, forget friends, and curse even our own siblings and parents in the name of freedom. We would even steal it away from other people just to keep it for ourselves. And suddenly, we have become consumed by our own fear of losing this freedom. And in the process, we have abandoned everything else. Maybe we aren't supposed to be free. Maybe there are things beyond us that we do not comprehend yet, that hold more value than freedom. I challenge thee, O humble listener. Dost thou truly know what is right? Or dost thou merely see thy own fabrication of a blissful world that is filled with ignorance?
They have started moving, sire.
This soon already. I was hoping for at least 2 more days, but alright. There's the scouts who keep their eyes on them. And if anything changes in their movement, they should immediately pull back, understood? Now we'll have to just...
Are you sure this is a good idea, Your Higglety? I mean, there would be countless casualties, right? In a world that challenges both conviction and mercy, ruthlessness is a necessary tool to be used in order to move forward. Unless you want to stay here until the end of ages, sacrifices have to be made.
And with that, I hope it has ended for everyone. We're gonna start off with a quick recap, because we definitely need it. So, you guys, or most of you, came to Zunania, maybe first time, maybe second time, to discuss a meeting about the potential use of elemental chrysalis and whether or not Azathia and Collis should sign a contract, the Zilianis order, to break free from the Nicene Creed of the Holy Lichnius to enforce their own rules about these ancient artifacts. However, the meeting did not go as planned, as the representative of Collis seemingly died mysteriously, and so a band of somewhat new individuals in that space decided to, form a group and try and investigate this problem, since the consequences of, the events that transpired could be pretty high, because you then later discovered that the actual chrysalis itself, a earth chrysalis, which was brought from Collis for investigation purposes, got stolen, and so you have been on the hunt for it ever since. You found a few leads. You went to the warehouse. There were a couple of thugs, which you later discovered belonged to a group called the Craggies, who seem to be a laughing stock for guards, as they are mostly seen as incompetent nothing, who are just literal dirt of the city. However, you discovered that their boss, how they refer to him as, a Fendrick Glamour, was kind of involved in this, and after finding him and searching up, you found a letter inside of his dormitory after having burned him to ashes, and his body got slain. That kind of stated he was involved in some pretty big drug trafficking, one of the most vile drugs that you can consume, and it seems like the den where you found this piece of paper was also filled with the Craggies, who were seemingly also addicted to this drug and under the control of Fendrick Lammer. And in a letter it stated that Fendrick had at least some part to do with the theft of the chrysalis, since the warehouse or the address of the warehouse was listed inside of the letter, and he was tasked to send a few of his men to pick up leftover goods. It was signed with EC, and Arya presumes it to probably belong to the Elfenbein cartel, which she then would inform the others is an extremely dangerous criminal organization inside of Azathia, who even her organization that Azathia belongs to usually tends to avoid, because when people get involved, they disappear. And that obviously is bad news. And since they are the main drug trafficking family inside of Azathia, it makes a lot of sense, and the assumption is probably the wisest one to make, that EC stands for Elfenbein Cartel, since, like I stated, they are the predominant drug trafficking group inside of Azathia. You also know that the main ingredient, which you also found a stash of, I believe like 10 bags, is only available in Collis, or to be more accurate, if you look at the political borders of Heems, but because the glacial area is directly next to Collis, most people from Collis also partake in mining this blue ice glassen salt, which is the main ingredient to make scratch or blue ice, which is the name of the drug. You then decided, after having also discovered that there's a large underground network underneath Sunania, to investigate that further, because with 2 locate object spells, you have found the whereabouts of one earth elemental chrysalis, and presuming that it is your earth elemental chrysalis, you went down to the Vanspire district, governed and ruled by one mysterious mistress who does not want to be mentioned in any way or form. As you went down there, you unfortunately caught the attention of some of her guards, which were these black-robed, raven-masked individuals who seem to have some sway or control over the darkness inside of the underground space. And having conversed a bit, they state that the elemental chrysalis inside of the Vanspire district was given to them when the town was constructed, and is in support of the city, and no other elemental chrysalis has been procured or taken into the Vanspire district. And they seem to have some knowledge over spellcraft, and stated that you were probably following an object that was similar but definitely not the same, and while trying to maybe get an interview with the mistress herself, slip of the tongue resulted into the slip of a blade inside of Fiera's stomach, in which you were asked to leave abruptly, and so you did, to not cause further damage to yourselves. And so you left, and with that you took your egos back up into the sky, and while flying back to the White Orchard's High Castle to maybe discuss further with the ministers of the Fens, Dinanor Schwerblut, or with one of the dukes, Leander Verratgeber, coursing through the large city of seemingly unaware people behind you a high storm that has just passed, the astral vestige, which I just noticed I haven't described in this campaign once yet, which is a kind of astral phenomena that happens every dusk or dawn when the sun sets or rises. In that brief period, there's like a translucent orb-like thing that just hangs in the sky. No one knows what it is or what its purpose is. It just looks really cool. And that has by then vanished, since it's kind of the early noon, about like 1 o'clock noon time. And as you were coursing through the city on these eagles, seeing the high storm passing over the rest of the continent, you could see on the east side a lake, and atop a lake, crossing a bridge, a silver lake, a shining march of little mirrors that is slowly but surely approaching the city you are residing in, and you are quite confident that those are the gleaming platinum armors of one of the Crusader legions that you have famously heard is currently making its way towards the city, specifically the 12th Crusader Legion of the Angel of Anger, Af. With that said, you are now arriving at the White Orchard's High Castle, and once again you kind of fly down. The large birds, avian creatures find a spot to land in the big open plaza space. You can see there's a lot of activity now currently going on within the castle itself. Usually when you arrive, you know, there are guards standing there patrolling. You see a few servants going here and there, but it seems like numerous servants, attendees and retainers and other nobility are currently moving inside of the space, going from one room to the other. And as you kind of land, you know, the Adlerwache, which are the people responsible for taking care of the eagles, just kind of let you go as the eagles, you know, kind of nuzzle themselves back right. They seem to have been a bit nervous flying so brief after a high storm. They don't like to do that because the winds can still be quite turbulent. But nonetheless, you can get off your eagles and currently are within the plaza of the White Orchard's High Castle. So what would you like to do? And half of you still muted.
So what time is it?
It's about 1 p.m.
Okay.
Well, let's get to our meeting, probably sooner than later.
Yeah.
Okay. Then how or where do you wish to go? Do you wish to go to your usual meeting room and then ask a retainer to maybe get persons of interest?
I would think we would grab a retainer as soon as we get to the High Castle to retrieve the people that we need to, and ask where they want to meet, if they want to meet into the usual room or if they even are available at all to meet with us.
Yeah. Then I presume you probably just approach one of the retainers to kind of make your way out of the plaza and inside of the actual tall castle structure itself. Like I said, a lot of activity, so it's easy to find a retainer that you're looking for. And yeah, what do you ask?
Shoot. Hi. We have some things to discuss with the Archduke. Archduke?
Duke.
Duke. Thanks. I don't have my notes with me.
That's fine.
Yeah, we have some things to discuss with the Duke and probably the Ministress of Defense as well. Would it be possible to meet with them quickly. Are they available?
Yeah, you talk to probably one smaller page boy who's kind of running, doing errands. He stops, looks at you and says, oh, Eureka, I believe the Duke currently is preparing for the arrival of the Crusader Legion, so I think he's currently quite busy, and probably the Ministers of Defense also has have responsibilities for this occasion. But I can definitely go and ask.
If you could, please.
Very well then. And will you be staying here, or should I come search you somewhere else?
Oh, we already had rooms, didn't we?
Yeah, we
Do
have
those
rooms. We
Carry
have
over, or
rooms.
do we have to like sign up for new rooms?
Oh no, I was just wondering if you were just maybe wait here for me, because I don't know how long it would take.
Oh, you're talking about staying here. Oh no, we'll just go to our to the meeting room that we were in
All right.
before.
Yes, understood. All right, I will try and get hold of this information as fast as possible, and I will hope to inform you later on.
Thank you.
Excuse me. And he runs off, and you see him run to some of the chambers as numerous guards are passing by, and you are once again left to your own devices.
When we saw the Legion marching, does it seem like they're like imminently close? Like how long do we think?
Ooh, make a, I guess, what would it be? Survival check to see to calculate the speed.
Well, that's not good for me.
Oh wait, you can. Oh, okay, well you already bought. Well, 11. That's average. It will probably take around 2 to 3 hours until they arrive.
Ugh. Yeah, whatever we do is gonna have to happen quick because
Yeah.
I don't know what is gonna happen. I don't like it. I don't like anything that we've been doing so far, to be completely honest. I don't think it's gonna get any better when an army shows up, so
I was curious, Dr. Fiera, have you had any interaction at all with the people that are coming over here? Is there anything you could tell us that could get us ready for what's about to happen or not happen?
I mean, you do have the most experience out of all of us with these individuals.
Right, I have an idea of why they're here. But that probably should only be talked about in, I guess, close quarters.
Oh, I thought we were in the meeting area now.
Let's get to the meeting area and then we'll discuss this further.
Yeah, you were walking and talking, let's say that. And now you open the door. Seems empty, no one is currently residing inside of there. And you will take your place, close the door, and you have your moment of privacy.
Yeah, my interactions with them haven't been great. A very long story short, there's kind of tension, mostly about the chrysalises, and some people want to take direct methods to gain control over them again, thinking that all the people here in Azathia have kind of been misusing them.
And while you are speaking, Fiora, you suddenly get a ping. You get a message inside of your head.
Oh, one moment.
You hear the voice of your brother, actually. And he says, I heard from Mother that the 12th Crusader Legion is heading to you. Be careful. Don't trigger Saint Albertine. He's known as Executioner. And you can respond with 25 words.
Oh, 25 is so tough. Especially out of the blue. Okay, I'll say this out loud so that the party can hear it. Duly noted. I had a bad feeling that they would arrive without warning. But I have prepared for this. I'll take care of myself.
One more.
One word?
One more word.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll leave it.
Okay. Okay. You don't seem to receive another message.
Mm.
Okay, you're gonna take care of yourself. That what? About what?
That was my brother. He's actually a soldier, but he isn't in this legion. He has different duties. But no, he brought bad tidings. He didn't have a good feeling about why they're here as well. And we should make sure they stay passive.
Isn't that the goal all along anyway? That we don't want them to start fighting us?
Oh yeah, that would be a disaster.
Don't provoke.
Fighting, we should probably leave.
Kidding.
Well, seeing as the teleportation circles are off service, it'll be kind of hard
Yes, we do. We do
to.
need to figure out what we can do to help. We've lost track of the chrysalis. That could be anywhere.
Yes.
The
I
door
go open the door.
opens. The retainer's there, and behind the retainer you see the Duke, Lander. And he's like, he steps in. Oh, so glad you are here. I was searching all over for you. I heard you took the Regals and went back down to the city. And he kind of quickly rushes in and just kind of says to the page boy to, return to his duties, and then closes the door. There's a lot of happening in the last couple of hours. Here, the Crusader Legion is due to arrive in probably a few hours.
Yes, that's what we're trying to prepare for. We're trying to find a way we can help. I'd like things to remain passive, no aggressive means on either side.
Yes, you can definitely count me, and I would love that for us and everyone else involved too. Well, they did send a message beforehand saying that they would like to have a meeting with everyone who was inside of the meeting, which means including you. And we will, I was hoping to avoid this, but apparently have a personal visit from the Light Commander himself.
How high up is the Light Commander? Is he just in charge of the Legion? I'm saying this to the DM.
Yeah. Yeah, you would definitely know. He's definitely in charge of the entire Legion, but he's also a member of the first, or well, the third, the lowest circle from the ranks of the Holy Legionnaires. So that is a pretty big deal if you're a member of any of those circles, even if it's the lowest tier. They have extreme military authority, but not so much political.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there are quite potent figures in any space.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's good that they want to talk before they do anything. We should cut to the chat. We lost track of the chrysalis. And I believe, Arya, you have news of who might have had their hand in taking it?
Yeah. Oh man, I don't have my notes on me. Hang on one second. It was one of the cartels. Let's see. Oh man.
Should I just say it?
Yes, please.
Is it the Elfenbane?
Yes, the
Cartel?
Elfenbein.
Okay.
Yes.
Elfenbein, sorry.
Yep.
It was in our conversation, so I just had to scroll up a little bit.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yes. The Elfenbein cartel. Some nasty buggers that are deep into some people's pockets, so they can pretty much get what they want with a little bit of money.
This is new news to my ears. So, this is new information you have found out recently?
Yes.
Yes, that's why we went back into the city, because as we suspected, the Craggies were only the tugs delivering the action and doing the dirty work for the cartel.
Alright. Let's see how much he actually knows about the cartel. Doesn't know jack shit. It's like, oh, okay, this sounds very dangerous, but handleable, right? We can handle a cartel, right?
Let's just say that usually cartels like these have ramifications that we don't know of. And probably the ministress would know more about this and could probably fill you in better on who they are and what they do in your city.
Even my knowledge of them is not as extensive as hers would be. Not being as high up, I wasn't privy to a lot of the information of their dealings. I
Alright.
saw them and I got told to walk away and to ignore it.
That is worrying to say, but we have to look at the bright side now. At least we now have a source, a target that we can at least say who's responsible for what has been happening, so we aren't stabbing in the dark so much now. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then that can at least inform me what maybe my next step should be. I've been trying to get at least the teleportation stuff sorted. We are a couple of mages from the Archmage Guild of Invocation personally delivering some of the equipment. However, it can only go so fast since they're limited in their ability to teleport only so often a day. So it will probably still at least take one boss until we can repair it. So until maybe we either get a shipment. And I believe we are also contacting Collis, since they usually supply the necessary materials that are required in crafting most of our arcane devices.
I feel like this city might not exist in one Voss. I don't. That's just me. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot happening. There's a missing weapon of mass destruction. There's an army coming. There's an underground mystery cult.
Honestly, I kind of agree. If we're to talk to the Legion and the Light Commander, I need to present good news. And if I'm to be honest, my visit here hasn't been that great. If anything, I've learned that the underground actually runs better than the overground.
Well, they enforce stricter rules and there are punishments that they can use, which we obviously can't. We can't just kill anyone who we don't like. So if you have that system in place, obviously it will work to some degree better. It's been a troubling few years for us governing the city. The expansion has grown beyond what we could have controlled, and the population is kind of becoming a little bit unstable, especially now with the major conflicts between the Holy Lichenies. People are divided, everyone has different opinions, and guilds are now also trying to climb up the power ladder, trying to make use of this chaos. So we are in a very tight position in the current timeline of our city. So yes, it is a bit unfortunate that you have to witness us at our lowest. I must admit that.
Every city struggles at some point, and I am confident that with the time and efforts and work that you're putting into it, you can turn it around. But it will require a lot of help, because I don't think that you're going to be able to do it alone. And I think that the situation is actually a lot worse than we are currently thinking it is.
That is unsettling to hear. Yes,
Right, it does bring me back to my other point. I need something to give so that I look around, but obviously it's just us. So that I can give them reason not to come in here with all those soldiers and take control of things their way.
right.
You mentioned before you can't reach out to those below in the underground? You have no means of communication with the, well, I guess I could say it up here, the leader of the Vanspire?
Strangely enough, the mistress only answers to the Holy Licheniers.
Can you get her a message that someone of the Lichness wants to talk to her? And it's an emergency that needs to be dealt with immediately?
Can definitely try my best. I mean, since you are actually a member of the Holy Licheniers, maybe you can, I don't know if you want to go so far, but maybe ask the Light Commander a favor, since he is the one who will be able to talk to the mistress. I don't think I have much say in this, unfortunately.
I'm starting to see that.
The best I can do is that I can probably try and get you a middleman. It is rare, and I have not heard anyone who has talked directly with the mistress other than Holy Lichenies individuals, specifically a Light Commander. But I don't know which one. She doesn't talk to anyone else.
Understood. I just believe she could help us actually get through this in one piece. But I guess that will have to wait until after we meet with the commander.
Probably, but I will still try my best so you can have a meeting with at least one of her associates.
Appreciate it.
Okay, well, I've also contacted Corvali. So, Miss Liafina, your father will probably also at some point get involved. The internal affairs of Azathia have now also struck in the wrong chord with what is going on. The other dukes are worried about what has happened here and that it may repeat in their places. So, I have quite the burden to carry there and explain to, well, everyone involved that this is going to be okay. I was just hoping that, you know, the whole political discourse and separation of the people would get lifted if we came to an agreement with the Cilianus Pact. And then if we have this uniform idea and allegiance with colors, we could, you know, rebuild our society, but that seems to have gotten completely the other way.
Well, somebody outplayed us, and they did pretty well with the fake death.
Yes, it's... Yes, the Minister of Defense is still kind of thinking about that, since she believes there's still something that isn't quite right, and that there's still a missing part that we aren't seeing yet. She's currently busy since she's preparing the arrival for the Light Commander, but when I talked to her yesterday evening, she said that... What was it again? She found it strange that the chrysalis even made it here.
Well, have you had any news on Zelnoth? Are they still missing?
Yes. Unfortunately... So...
That could answer a lot of questions if we find out where their allegiance is, if they were working with it, against it. Maybe they fell trying to, you know, go after the culprits, or maybe they're aiding them.
Yes, she is also a black box, which... Plus the headmaster too. I am... also uncertain on whether or not she is with or against this whole operation, since she just disappeared out of the blue as well. I mean, most likely she is working for them, but
She has to be. I'm almost entirely convinced.
And about your coworker?
Same thing. There's no way this is just a coincidence. All of a sudden, we were brought together to work on this, to research this chrysalis, and then all of that. Well, not to mention we saw her when we went to the warehouse. She was there with the thugs.
Yes.
So she absolutely is working with them.
Alright. Then that should be no question.
Which, to be clear, I am not.
Yeah, I haven't indicated to think that you were. Now I am, since you mentioned it.
Shit. No. Okay. I just don't want any confusion. That's it. I am not working with it. I'm not part of it. I don't know why I'm involved in this. Well, I do know why, but I don't necessarily want to be. I want to figure it out as much as you. I just want to keep saying that to whoever I need to keep saying it to. I am not involved with it.
I think we understand. Mr. Irick.
Arya goes up and kind of pats him on the shoulder. We understand you're not a part of it, but if you keep saying you're not a part of it, it's going to bring more suspicion to you. Calm down, buddy.
So we do have a lot of things that still need answering and a lot of work to be done, but what can we do until the meeting? Or I guess, where will it be so we know where to show up?
Oh, yes. Oh, I almost forgot. Oh, blood is rushing through my head. I am not thinking clearly. Well, it's in the Lichtkirche. That is the church outside on the Ansyrian High Plain. It's the one, those of you who arrived via the teleportation tower, the Tower of Verbindung, is where you went through to enter up onto the Ansyrian High Plains, the large church there. There is a trial room that is usually used for holding trials. And it seems like the Light Commander was adamant about using that space for our meeting.
Great.
Does he know what that space is normally used for?
I'm pretty sure he's well aware of what that space is used for. That is usually where the head judges resides.
I'll make sure to prepare everyone here for that scenario.
Yes, a few formal things you should know, especially for someone as high ranking as the Light Commander. You always have to address them with His Holiness. If you don't do that, it is seen as a great disrespect. And I cannot tell which consequences might result in not abiding by this. It's always different from commander to commander. Some are a bit more relaxed with these rules, but I'm pretty sure that the Light Commander of the Angel of Anger will be quite displeased if this isn't withheld. Yes, so that is a thing to keep in mind.
Do I know the last time the Lichness and like High Elves from Azathia ever fought each other?
You can make a history check.
Or if it's even happened, I guess.
Yeah. 24. Yeah, there was never an outright war or even conflict on a large scale to be spoken of. Like I said, the Holy Lichnias are the reason why the elves still exist. They are the literal reason why society exists, because with the light crystals, they are the very foundation of having the ability to build cities with high storms waging. So it was always a kind of, mother-daughter relationship, and obviously the Holy Lichnias was a mother kind of nurturing the high society of the high elves until they could finally, after a couple of years, sustain themselves. They kind of gained independence maybe like properly like 200 years ago. And independence is still, the heavy influences are still there. They still have to abide by the Nicene Creed and everything like that, but they aren't like actively relying on Erigo clerics, which are the clerics that use light crystals to build their cities and structures like that. They now self-govern themselves, basically.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Alright, well, it was good that we had this exchange and that you came to contact me. I still have a lot of things to do before they arrive. Maybe I will be able to get the Ministers of Defense before the actual Light Commander arrives, and you can have a quick discussion with her. I cannot guarantee that, however. Yes, but I have to be on my way and continue my duties, so I'll see you inside of the Lichtkirche then.
Very well.
Can't wait.
Me neither. Yeah, kind of shuts the door behind him. And by the way, just for spelling's sake, Lichtkirche.
It's a light church.
It is indeed a light church, which is Elven. And sounds for light church.
I'd like to point out how I love how it says assistant.
Yeah, I am my own assistant.
I forgot
Nice.
about that.
Whew. Okay, I did not expect them to want to talk to all of us. I'm sure my mother has, I guess, give a rundown. I don't know if she's been passed information about the Pulse death and the involvement of, I kind of point to Izarel. The magic it's necromantic, right, in nature? That's something normally used?
Mm,
Yes.
You used it on yourself.
oh, the one that
Your
I used on
thinking spell.
myself.
Yes.
Yes. Um, I hold on. It is, yes.
I'm curious when and why you learned that, but we can talk about that later. Odd choice, but so yeah, real quick, everybody needs to be very respectful when we're talking to the light commander. Don't speak unless you're spoken to. Just remember His Holiness, and do not lie. If you need to hide a truth, talk around it, but do not lie. If you aren't sure what to say, just let me know. I'll try to do most of the speaking. But we need to just make sure to let him know that an outside party has caused problems, not the high elven society. And it's probably unnecessary for them to take control of the city at the moment until more information is gained.
Should I activate my little
I don't
communication?
recommend it. He might be able to tell about that sort of thing. We need to
What?
be very upfront here.
He can't know that we're talking to each other in our heads? How would he know that?
I mean, there's similar things done in the Lichness society, so he probably knows about that sort of thing and wouldn't take it very well if he found out we were. And I think some of us won't be able to hide it as well as others.
And looking right at Eirik.
I'm definitely just like looking looking away.
Yes, let's just present them the facts, that there's problems that need to be dealt with. And if they come in here, they may create more problems than answers. Especially if other cities would be watching. Azrael, I guess, do you know how your father might take it if the city became under control of the Lichness? I'm assuming he would, I don't know, prevent that from his city? I don't know. But what are your thoughts? You're the one that knows more about these
Um,
diplomatic things.
um, knowing my father the way he is, he would try to work with them to prevent things from happening elsewhere. My father is basically the right hand to the Duke in Corvallis. So he would probably be trying to be the link between the Lichness and the Duke. He's more into foreign affairs than actually dealing with the city itself. But definitely he would try to avoid um, the Lichness from entering Corvallis.
And if my studies are right, there's a handful of families that govern all of Azathia. Do you know if there's any aggressive ones?
Um,
Do I probably do. Do I?
Yeah, you can make a history check, definitely.
can I make a history check as well?
Yes.
I'm just thinking we're gonna be
Oh,
watched. Oh
pretty
wow.
good.
We're a smart group.
Yep.
Oh nope, I definitely
I
don't know.
I literally Israel literally studied the politics of Azathia, so it makes sense.
Yes. Um. Yeah. There has definitely been a big political kind of battle once kind of Azathia gained independence, and the power of the dynasty families has been ever growing since then. And there are definitely a couple of families, including the one that rules Corvallis, that is adamant about having they have been kind of proposing the idea of being completely independent from the Holy Lichenius now. Your father is kind of a middleman. He also would like to be independent, but he isn't like aggressively trying to, push this idea, since that's could end in disaster. But there are a couple of dukes who are using their influence as means to kind of persuade through different means of propaganda to the society of Azathia to kind of make them like believe that they deserve the independence and that they don't need Holy Lichenius anymore, because the Zuverlässiger family is responsible for the internal affairs of Azathia, so they have extremely good political reach on the common folk. So any newsletters, stuff like that, is controlled by the Zuverlässiger family. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely where I'm from, we're very close. Well, some of us are close to our roots, but I think a lot of others just want to be left alone.
Well, this doesn't bode well. So there's factions in Azathia growing that want independence. There's factions in Canaan that are growing that want complete control over all the lands. I'm worried war is inevitable eventually, but hopefully you can stave it today. I feel like there's more important things to do than to just be at war with each other over land and resources.
Well, I will definitely will not surrender freely the information that I am from Corvallis today. I will try to keep it for myself as much as possible, because I do not want to create an incident right here, right now. With this, I will do my best to keep my personal beliefs and goals aside for the time of the meeting, just to make sure that I don't cause a war. It is
That's
absolutely not my goal.
And one other thing you would also know as well is, like, your family, or no, the Zuverlässiger family is also responsible for overseeing guilds and trade relationships. So, and like I mentioned earlier, a lot of guilds have now also started to rise in power. And you know that even though you are, like I said, independent, Azathia, there are still extremely heavy tax levies put on people inside of Azathia that have to pay to the Holy Lichenius, especially since the Archbishop announced the crusade to kind of maintain crusade allegiance. Obviously, the upkeeping cost is enormous, and so they increased taxes, which obviously the people don't like, even though it is helping them. They're kind of, most guild members don't feel the effects of the demonic blight since they live, behind high walls, and so they think it's kind of unfair. And that's also kind of put a sour note towards the Holy Lichenius, because, some of the dukes of the Zuverlässiger family are kind of arguing that the Holy Lichenius are just leeching the Azathian resources without paying back. It's kind of one of the propagandas that they often use.
then Eirik. If the commander talks to you, you were ordered to look at the chrysalis if that is brought up. That was not your idea. It was brought to you by your boss, and your boss disappeared.
Absolutely true.
That's all you need to mention. You don't need to mention what you found out. You don't need to mention how you tinkered with it unless you're asked. If you are, just keep it as simple as possible. Or, I don't know. I don't understand. We looked at it and we didn't figure everything out. Just keep it simple.
Sure. Easy.
Great. Yeah.
And a page boy once again opens the door, and you can see the Ministers of Defense who's there. You can see a very kind of not confused face, but a spaced out face, probably because she's thinking about so many things at the same time, kind of preparing for this event. And she kind of steps in, says, "Yes, alright, you can leave now." Alright, so you've called for me?
Yes, we're just trying to make sure we're in the loop on this and everybody's on the same page. We lost the lead on the chrysalis, but we did find a path to finding it eventually, probably after this day, but Arya, you can I think share what you shared earlier.
Fortunately, our path has led us to believe that the Elfenbein cartel has something to do with this missing chrysalis.
Die Elfenbeinkartel hier zeg.
Yes.
You can see her face from this kind of spaced out expression hones into a deep focus. Right. That is obviously bad news. I don't think I have to explain that much. But that also would explain quite a lot as well.
Right. And to be clear, we don't know if they're the head schemer, but they're the ones that orchestrated the Craggy stealing it, and most likely the other crimes that happen throughout the city as a diversion.
Okay,
And
yes?
that they might have used the Untergrund to assist in moving it undetected.
Right. What is the main evidence that leads you to believe that it's the Elfenbeinkartel?
I know we have a paper, but we don't know about the other things you found.
We found a note in Glamour's room talking about debt. There was some that was signed EC, and there were the coal of salt from the moving glaciers with it as well.
She slowly nods her head. Focused expression continues. One thing that is still troubling me quite a lot, and I've mentioned this yesterday to the Duke, maybe he has already mentioned it to you, is that how the chrysalis got here in the first place, or rather why, is something that I am a bit confused about. Because if you think about it, if their goal is to get the chrysalis, right? If that is their intention, then wouldn't it have been easier to, board the ship or assault the ship that was carrying the chrysalis, since they obviously knew about it? And we know for a certain fact that they have the abilities to do so, since they literally replaced one of the representatives of colors. So I don't think it would have been that hard to also have them acquire the chrysalis at the same time.
I believe somebody wants the tension that's being created between, well, my people and yours. For what benefit, I couldn't tell you, but somebody wants there to be conflict, or on the verge of conflict.
Still, it seems like a rather risky maneuver to do this inside of a city. I think the conflict would have happened all the same, even if the chrysalis would have just been stolen even before the meeting, right? Unless they, for some reason, needed the chrysalis inside of the city, or they have some other purpose that is tied to this location. I don't see why they would go through the effort of not only replacing a representative of colors, but then also somehow infiltrating the high castle, which is no easy task to do, and then setting this whole scheme up. It's just something, there is something missing.
Right. It to turn off the teleportation mainframe, yeah. I would call it system. You need a chrysalis, right, to do that?
Well, not necessarily. If you have a shovel, you could, or a pickaxe, you could try and dig into the hard granite stone of where it is placed beneath. Like I said, it's surrounded by several layers of stone.
Wasn't it reported that somebody used the chrysalis to reach it?
Yes, we know that the chrysalis was used to reach it, but it is not a necessity. Convenience.
Understood.
Yes.
It just helped make it go quicker.
Yes, efficiency, basically.
Great, so they were still missing.
Because I don't believe, since Eirik, you mentioned that these chrysalises can be turned into weapons of mass destruction, right?
Yeah. Those are words that I have used.
Yes. I don't believe that that is their intention, for at least the information we have now. Because I think, at least coming from my perspective, if I would try and, use it as a weapon, I would try and gain the weapon, or it means to build it, and then be undetected, right? Because if I let people know, oh, I am building this weapon here, that'd be foolish, because then you can get caught. If they would have stolen it while it was on its transit to Sunaranir, we would have no idea where it could be. It could be anywhere in the world, right? So I don't believe they are trying to use it as a weapon. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
It's not so much that I think it might be used as a weapon, it's just what might occur as a result of whatever work they want to do with it.
Oh, he means that they aren't aware that it...
Well, whether they're aware or not, if you overuse it and if you exploit its power, even if you don't intend to use it as a weapon, it is a weapon.
But it's, you mentioned it's fairly difficult to bring it to that point.
I can only assume it's difficult, but it's not like I have any first-hand experience with them. I
I guess I have a question. Do you have something perhaps more important in the city than any chrysalis? Something maybe being looked at less because everybody's looking for the lost chrysalis? Or busy with all these crimes going on? What's the most important thing in the city?
Well, the trade, obviously. This is the largest trade city in the entire continent. Most people live here. Number-wise, we are a direct bridge to Canaan, the trade chain pact. We don't particularly have an item or anything, if that's what you're asking. We don't hoard a collection
More or
of
less.
secret artifacts. No, that is not the case. We are mainly a trade-guided and political city for the most part.
So is it possible then that all of this is just a disguise, a distraction, that maybe they're going to be trying to bring something in to the city via trade route and they want people distracted, or just distractions in general? They're trying to do something else, you know, start something new, do something, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot is going on right now that just it seems too complex. It's all just I really think it's just a distraction.
Yes, I would also agree with that mindset. I don't believe... Well, I'm not even sure what the purpose of this is. Like, even... Like, it can't be anything else as a distraction. They don't want to steal a chrysalis. Like, I mean, what do they want to do with a chrysalis then? Like I said, there's only so much you can do, and if it's true you can weaponize it, that seems like the only logical solution. Other than that, there has to be a different intent of having this happen.
Well, it's an earth chrysalis, right? Could... Iric, if somebody was skilled enough with it, could somebody burrow a tunnel? Like a long tunnel, like infinitely long? Just constantly using it?
From what I can understand, yeah, a long tunnel could probably be could probably be done. I don't know if we can call it infinite. Again, I don't know how these things power up while being used. I don't know. I mean, I do kind of know, but yes, it could be used as a means to tunnel.
Well, we clearly need to learn more. Is there anything you can tell us that can help us with our meeting later? Perhaps that I can share?
I unfortunately won't be attending the meeting. Unless I get called in, I will be on the side and making sure that the security is as high as possible and not let anything happen inside of that room. If anything remotely similar happens with your meeting, I can well, jump off the cliff.
If anything happens anywhere close to what happened to the last meeting, we're all dead. No one comes out alive.
Yes, I've only met the Light Commander once in real life before of the 12th Crusader Legion, and well, I can't say much because I passed out.
Yes,
Great.
he does have that air around him.
Yes, I think someone said something he disliked, and after that I have no memories.
Awesome.
Yes.
Right. Well, we shall prepare then. I guess afterward, if we're able to keep things from moving forward with the Legion and keep them at bay, think how we can help. Looking into the cartel, looking into Arena Pila's whereabouts. I guess where can a ragtag group that has multiple allegiances help the most?
Yes, well, do you maybe have that? Could I see the letter that you found at the Craggy's hideout?
I assume Arya, you have that?
It's in the group stuff, so one of us has it.
Yeah, one of you has it. It's just a question of whether or not you're willing to give her the letter. I mean, it's just a yes or no. Do you want to give her the letter or not?
Yeah, we'll give her the letter.
Okay. She takes it. She kind of gives it a once over. And... Right. This is a reasonable assessment to make that they are small on side, impact of card closing, lockdown. Interesting. Alright. Maybe it is best if you can follow this thread. Since this basically confirms that there are guards in our midst who are working for the enemy, and I think it is, at least in the time frame we have, impossible to filter out who can be trusted and who not. Though the lieutenant is 100% trustworthy. I have gotten word from her, and she's a bit displeased on how you tend to do things. However, I have once again informed her that you are doing this out of best interest. It's just that you have somewhat trampled on about 5 years of her work, and she just is a bit upset, but I think it will pass over. She is one of the few people inside of the city who I believe is actually trying her best to do the right things in the position she currently is. And that's a hard thing to do as, well, a city wall warden. But you have my word, she is definitely trustworthy. But what I mean to say is, if you could maybe figure out this smuggling route, we might find a direct way to the cartel, or at least a connection. Obviously, if we encounter the cartel, that would mean big trouble. But I don't believe they operate themselves. They often do these kind of things where they have other people do their bidding, and they just kind of pay them off or send them drugs, and, or in this case, settle their debt if they have any with their cartel. So I believe the best course of action, since this is currently our only thread, following this might not be an entirely bad idea.
Can I get a read on like her general demeanor, especially after she read the note? Was she like nervous? Like, oh my god, I can't believe they found this? Was she happy? Was she just thinking about it like a detective?
Make an insight check.
8.
Yeah, no, she's a trained professional. She usually keeps information to herself. Plus, like I said, her mind is congealed with a lot of other thoughts, so it's hard to make out. Yes, well, if you have any other clues that might lead somewhere who have connections with the Kraggies or any of their dealings, that could potentially be a point of connection with the cartel.
Yeah, that's future work.
Yes, I think for now we should prepare for the meeting that is about to come, and with that said, I shall also excuse myself. I still have a few preparatory works that I must look over. Well, I wish you luck, and I more than hope to see you again after the meeting. Good luck.
Aww. Aww.
And you're once again left alone in the room.
Well, best we go clean up and then meet at the lick. Ooh boy, what's the second word? Liquor. Or I can bring you there. I was nearby earlier.
We definitely should try to be presenting our best. So a little cleanup is in order. I might want to collect myself as well a little bit before facing everything that I'm working against.
That's fair. Okay, how about everybody go take a breather? I will knock on everybody's door in about 2 hours when we're ready to head out.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
Okay. Then you return to your residencies, by which you exit the high castle. You can see the hustling and bustling going on there. A large group of guards also currently exiting the castle and seemingly going their way to the Lichtkirche. And while you kind of find behind their foot trails the loud clanking of armor of tens and tens of soldiers, can retire for a couple of hours, and that's where we're also going to take our quick break because I gotta piss. And you can also take a breather. So we're gonna. I don't have to say we're gonna see you in a minute because it is an instant on YouTube. Wow. Okay, but we return from our break, and predictions were made on what is going to happen next. With that, you have all retired into your rooms. If there is any preparatory stuff you want to do before Fiera picks you up, now's the time to do so. So you are currently alone in your separate rooms.
I'm assuming we've had like a long rest since our last session.
No, we haven't.
No.
No.
Yeah, you
No.
can take a short rest if you wish.
Yeah, that's
Um,
definitely what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
both-
take a short rest as well.
Got stabbed.
Yeah, I just remembered, like, you still have like a hole inside of your stomach.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to rest. I took so much damage.
Yeah, I definitely like to use some of my hit die.
Okay.
Um,
God, I should. How do you use hit die on D&D Beyond? It's been too long.
Oh yeah, God, I also get that as well.
let's see, did it show?
When
If you go onto
Hey, it
short
did.
rest,
Yeah, if you go on short rest, it has roll hit die.
Oh, okay.
And you can select the number of hit die you want to use.
Perfect.
Yes,
Use 3.
I think that is a natural 20 that has been added up. 68, that's pretty good.
Probably didn't need that many, but you know what? I'd rather be safe than sorry.
This might take a few from me.
You can you can just click the number you want and then press roll and it will roll them all at once, so you don't have to
Oh.
manually click them.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I may have did it wrong. That's fine. That gets me full.
Yep.
Guess I'll use Arcane Recovery too, because why not?
Yes. Why?
I guess I will cast a ritual.
Okay.
If I have time.
Yes.
I would like to ritually cast Augury.
Okay.
I haven't done yet.
Ooh.
Basically, I'm just gonna sit on my bed, take out my lovely locket and lay it in front of me so I can see the compass on the front. And I will start to cast Augury. I can probably post it.
Yes, I'm seeing it also currently, but
There we go.
Post it.
And I'm gonna reach out to the I guess a realm I've been dabbling in of possibility and different routes and fates, and ask let's see what do I have to word it here? So plan of action. If I send a message to Rena Pila, how would that go?
Okay, and I presume you would do it like short
Like
before.
using sorry, what?
No, because it says like 30 minutes within the next session, so we probably don't do it.
Yeah, so if I send a message to Rena Pila about her whereabouts and what she's planning, how would that go?
Ah.
In the next
30 minutes.
after I cast
Okay.
Augury.
Okay.
Yep, and just to be specific, I'm using my locket as the focus and the thing for the augury. So what I expect to happen is one of the arrows, because there's 3 of them, to spin a certain direction for good, bad, or otherwise. That's what I'm assuming will happen.
Okay. Then I need you to roll me a
Love you.
1d100.
D100, okay.
Yep.
20, 10, 100.
Okay, you do that, and the kind of shadowy essence of your clock kind of begins to tick, and it spins in numerous directions, almost like it's calculating for you. It kind of feels that way. And after it kind of spins for a bit, nothing.
Good. Okay. So I won't send that message then. And I'll just clean up, make sure my Lich's symbol is nice and present and clean,
Yes.
and just wait to grab everyone.
Okay, what about the others? Let's peek into the room of Aria and Isarel, anything you are specifically doing.
I'm going to be meditating, mostly trying to calm down, trying to commune with Servalon and trying to ask for help, for guidance, anything that could help me in the upcoming meeting, but not necessarily expecting an answer, but more to clear my head and clear my thoughts and get ready for what's about to happen, and just spend some time meditating.
Yeah, you can roll me just a straight wisdom.
Wisdom here.
Okay. Once again, I was looking and waiting for it to roll, and it already had rolled. So I was just looking at the 11. I'm like, okay, when's she going to roll? It's like, oh, it is the 11. Because usually it makes a noise, but no, it doesn't make a noise. Anyways, you meditate, you focus, but you're inside of a room, a building that was handcrafted, and you don't feel a good connection with nature where you are right now. So you don't really get any feeling. You're just kind of calming your mind naturally, and maybe just self-contemplating. Doesn't seem to be any extra influence like you felt when you went to Telvon outside. Then, Aria, anything you would like to do while your compatriot is meditating?
I'm just gonna get cleaned up. Make sure I put on my nicest outfit. I mean, if we're meeting important people, not only am I part of the Inquisition, but my family's also kind of important. Not as important as my bestie over here, but still important. So I just want to take time to look my absolute best.
Yes. Okay, and the last member, Iwake.
Okay, I'm going to spend some time. I want to just on a piece of paper start writing out everything I know about the Asbiel drill.
Oh shit, okay.
I want to go back and try to just process that information and see if I can just jot down any information that I can remember about it.
Okay, I guess you can make a history check.
Huh.
Sweet. Yeah, you ain't the best with, memorizing things. So you only get like kind of the basic components. It's a drill. It's been used from where you worked before. It probably is the thing that I presume you are thinking about it after Fiera mentioned the digging, and I will confirm definitely, like to the best extent Infinity could go, is probably usable with a spell drill if the specifications are met, because they are to craft the Goliath Walker unit to be able to carry this unit. Otherwise, you could just stick straight down because it was too heavy.
Right. Okay, yeah. Because of that conversation, that's exactly where my mind started to go to, but I didn't want to bring it up. So yeah, I'm trying to process it now in my own space.
Yes. It's a large device, by the way, too. Like, it's not something you could hide or anything. It's like...
No, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and after that, I guess, Fiera, you can pick up your friends as the clock strikes the 2-hour mark from when it was said that you have your meeting.
Yep, I'll do that. Just quickly go knock on everybody's door.
Okay.
And then, I guess I'll try to get a couple of guards to accompany us, if possible.
Yeah, that's easy enough. There are always a couple of guards outside of the buildings, and you can get them there. And they seem, just as you now walk outside, you can see there are guards everywhere. Even there where you are, it's your normal residency, where, usually to have privacy for the people that stay there, they don't want to enforce so many guards, otherwise it will feel a bit claustrophobic. However, it seems like some extra precautionary methods have now been placed in. I guess you can also make me just perception checks in general while you're looking around. Yeah, currently going out. That is a 7 from Heinrich. I think
Oof.
you are focused on something else as well as Fiera.
Yeah, I'm reading books.
19. And last, but not least, yes, the 2 elves with keen-trained eyes. As you're looking around, you see the normal guards that are stationed here, and there always seems to be at least a troop or group of 4 that are kind of marching around, walking down the spaces, and there's always at least 30 feet distance, or no less than 30 feet distance from one guard group to the others. What Eirik and Fiera you don't see, because probably you are kind of, with your head spaced down, looking at your books or twirling with your fingers or fidgeting with some of your tools. The high elves, you look also at the roofs and you can see special trained soldiers who have a completely different attire that are atop the roofs. Seem to be like some sort of long-range archer snipers that are commonly used to keep watch over a space, and on each of the roofs you at least see 1 or 2 kind of stations there who are just keeping an eye out and then just walking around. And as you look in the sky, as you do so, also the sky is filled with those large avian eagles whose eyes are also being used to percept the surrounding areas. Way more effort has been put into keeping the surroundings secure than when your meeting took place. And you slowly but surely make your way to the Lichtkirche. You step out, you kind of go the normal routes. You are probably followed and flanked by at least 8 guards, 2 on each side, if they're like a kind of make up a square that are surrounding you and they're kind of following you and also kind of leading the way. You pass past a T. I missed the T. You know, the nice white orchards which are kind of sprinkled around that led your way the first time you stepped onto the Anthurian High Plains through the Lichtkirche. But this time you are returning to the Lichtkirche and not going outside of it. You can see this very tall cathedral-like tower structure which makes up the church. It is completely white in its coloration. You can see large colored stained windows on the sides of this tower. It is not a circle per se, but more like a hexagon. So it has like more flat shapes on each side, and then it starts to tower above you, and it kind of ends in this sleek, smooth, pointed rooftop. You can also see different other smaller towers protruding from the sides at different levels of the main body structure that are kind of going around. Not quite sure what they're used for, but seems to be like different places that you can enter when inside of the church. It is built with a mixture of typical Holy Lichner style and Elven style to kind of symbolize the treaty that they have been going on for a long time, kind of a symbol for their good relationship. And you step inside of this church with kind of the back sort of trying to maybe keep this intact. There are a set of double doors, large doors, which are already opened that lead you inside. And as you go inside, it's almost as if it becomes brighter, even though you're stepping into an interior space, because you're greeted with almost like direct sunlight that shines through one of the large windows behind a gargantuan, probably like 25-foot statue of an angel that's at the very far end of the room, made out of probably marble. You can see a few of those natural patterns that marble has, and the angel is kind of looming over the room, over a little stage on which it is set up. You can see the wings kind of go around her. It's a female figure, and the wings almost encompass the entire room. Her face is looking downwards, and her hands are currently covering her face. Almost look like either in shame or in sadness. It is hard to make out, and she's wearing kind of basic loose cloth, or it is made to look so as if she does. The stained windows all have very strong Holy Lichner's imagery: suns, angels, feathers, light, and the predominant color that you see is obviously yellow. And as the light is shining through these windows, it's almost as if it's focusing it inside of the church, making it appear as if the interior space is glowing. And because the interior is so white, everything, the whole light is refracting from each other, kind of once again giving this feeling of illumination, like you're walking inside of a light bulb. There are rows of benches, all painted white, set in front, facing towards this angelic statue, and there's a little podest in front where a preacher might stand when giving ceremonies. You, however, pass to the left to a set of stairs, one that goes down, which is the one you used to take when entering from the Coast Redwood Plateau when arriving through the teleportation circles. That's how you go up onto the Anthurian High Plain. But there's also a staircase to the left of it that leads upwards, which is where you start to begin to ascend this cathedral-like tower. And there are always like little figures of or carved statues of angels or cherubims or other religious depictions that are often seen in the Holy Lichners. You can see that there are very fine marble details that are carved inside of the wood at some places that have been placed next to doors. You go a couple of steps up and you can see a door that leads out, probably to one of those side towers that are on the outside of the main tower. And you start to descend, and you notice that you are kind of going on the outside of the tower, slowly but surely circling up words. And with each and every single step, probably a bit of nervousness grows inside of you as you are, after a long time, arrive at what seems to be like the very top, and you're greeted once again with a double door, not as big as the entrance, but maybe like good 7 feet tall. Deep mahogany, but painted white as usual. Golden handles. And some of the guards take them and slide them open for you to enter. Inside, you see a kind of courtroom. A couple of stairs, not stairs, a couple of chairs placed onto a white rug that has been placed in the middle. The room is about maybe 30 feet wide and probably about 20 or 25 feet long. The first thing you notice is that at a certain point the room from where the rug is and where the chairs are set stops, and then a few steps lead up to a kind of hired portion. On that hired portion you see one large chair, silvered, maybe even platinum, gold trimming, that almost stands like a throne, imposing on these higher steps. A position of obvious authority, and probably the place where the one who commands whatever goes inside of this room resides. Currently no one is sitting inside of there. There are several chairs next to this throne that are placed next to it, but not nearly as lavish as that one. But behind that you can see a huge painting that is placed on the wall of a depiction where angels are slaying devils, demons, it's unsure, but the angels that are painted there are all painted extremely vague. You see more wings and feathers than the actual body, but you can see spears and swords piercing the bodies of vile creatures, or at least it is depicted that way. Inside of this room you see 4 other people currently sitting there, and they are on the first part of the floor where the chairs are on a white rug. You see the Duke, Leander, Thürich Verratgeber. You see the Duchess, she also is there, Selina Wertzen Verratgeber, and you see 2 other figures who are kind of sitting directly next to them, who you don't recognize, but they also seem to be in a similar vein as the Duke and Duchess, also very high elven clothing, very similar, and they are currently conversing a bit, but then look towards you as the door is opened for you to enter. And as so you enter, the guards stay back, and yeah, what would you like to do as you enter the room?
I'm going to stick as close as I can to Israel. And just like kind of be like her support elf.
Yeah, sure. Can be her support elf.
Your emotional support elf.
So there's an obvious spot for us to sit.
Not necessarily obvious. There are 2 rows of 8 chairs set to each other, separated to left and right. Currently the Duke, Duchess and the other 2 members are on the front left places where the 4 chairs are, and they're sitting on those 4 chairs. So there's technically a row of 4, 3 row of 4 chairs still available.
Okay, I will lead our group to a set of 4 chairs that isn't directly next to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you can imagine it's like 8 in front, separated into 2 halves, and then it's the same behind that. So you can either choose to behind them, to the right, or right next to them in the front, if you know what I'm saying.
To the right.
Okay, like directly to the right or the behind right?
Directly to the right.
Okay, then I guess who wants to take the very leftmost chair?
I'm gonna
guess I-
push
well-
Eirik like as far away from them as possible.
Yeah, I guess I'll seed us. It'll be me, Azarel, Arya, and then Eirik.
Okay,
I would
so
rather be on the other side. So I'd be right next to you, and Izarel would be down one more.
Okay.
I want
sure.
her as far away from the people as possible. But if she wants Eirik at the end, that's fine.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we awkwardly find our spots.
okay, yeah, you kind of nudge Isaac next to you, but then I was like, no. And then there's a weird scuffle, and you will take your seats. And you are currently sitting next to the two figures that you don't recognize. However, Leander kind of just steps up real quick and says, nice you could make it. Glad you're here. For more introductions, I think you haven't met. These are the Archduke and Archduchess, who will be overseeing this meeting, since obviously they are the rulers of the city, and the Lightbearer who also wish them to bear witness to our meeting. And
The
you
light
can-
bearer, or
no,
light commander.
no, Light Commander.
Oh, okay. You said light bearer. I was.
No. I said it in a different. I think a different context. Oh yes, I said Light Bearer. Oh shit, no, Light Commander. Oh, that would have been a very different
Yes, I thought so. Okay.
encounter. You can see the Archduke seems a lot older than the Duke. Has very defined features. You can see the hollow parts underneath his cheekbones. But after a time, all high elves, especially the Dukes, tend to look the same. The only main difference that kind of distinguishes him from the other Duke is that he has kind of this vine crescent wing that goes behind his collar that he's wearing, and the Duchess has something similar. And he kind of also stands up and says, so you are the people that the Duke has been dealing with. Well, it is nice to make your acquaintance, and your efforts are well received within our household, and I appreciate the work that you have been doing, even though it is not directly your responsibility to do so.
Your words are much appreciated.
I surely hope that the Light Commander will think the same. And kind of sits back down. And kind of just sits there for a moment. After a time, the door opens once again. And inside, flanked by a few guards, are Heinrich Waldberg, Kolovan Sindheisen, and Fenbian Turning, the associates and friends of Eirik, who look infatuated and nervous as shit. They are on the brink of a panic attack, especially Fenbian.
Yeah.
Just hear this kind of shaking voice. Did we get him? How did we get him, man? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh.
How did we get it? It's
We're back, I guess. Well, the layout is still fucked, and I don't want to redo it. Wait, I can just redo it real quick. Is call it 3 people. There you go. And then I can just move, just so at least we can see our faces when we say that. Unfortunately, this will be an abrupt ending, because a transformer, no, not Optimus Prime, we mean the electrical grid, exploded apparently in one of our players, and so she doesn't have any power anymore. which means she cannot join us on Discord or any other media service. So this is a unfortunate shorter session after such a long delay. A teaser, if you so will, for what is about to come. And we will have to continue the rest of this next week. When I have to place us in our appropriate boxes. There we go. There we go. There we go. And there it is. Here we are back in our fields, but missing Felicia. Sorry guys, but that's just how it sometimes goes. But hey, who knows, maybe because it's shorter it will do better and then we just have to post like short sessions.
Oh,
Or
maybe.
we just always play 4-hour sessions, but we only post like the first half. And then the
Sure.
second half the next week. Because then at least we have
Or
like
Could also do that.
then we have like a big backlog of videos that we can always post. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty good. Yeah. Anyways, we won't stay here much longer. Everyone say an unfortunate bye with a sad face.
Unfortunate
Mhm.
bye.
Unfortunate. Bye.
And hopefully
Bye bye.
everything will turn out better